Lawyers numbering over 1,000 who came together from across the country under the Save Benue and Zamfara coalition early on Tuesday morning petitioned the National Assembly to take over the functions of the Benue and Zamfara State Houses of Assembly. The coalition, during a peaceful protest on Tuesday at the National Assembly complex, urged that the two houses are unable to perform their functional duties due to internal crises and alleged interference by the state governors. The petition lamented that in Zamfara, 10 lawmakers have been suspended since February last year on the instructions of Governor Dauda Lawal for raising alarm over the rising insecurity in the state. Similarly, in Benue State, they stated that 13 members of the State House of Assembly were suspended for allegedly refusing Governor Hyacinth Alia's instruction to suspend the Chief Judge of the state. The coalition, led by Barrister Sambari Benjamin, urged the National Assembly to invoke Section 11, Subsection 4 of the Constitution, which allows the Parliament to make laws for the peace, order, and good government of a state when the House of Assembly is unable to perform its functions.
Our request is predicated under the said Section 11 Sub 4 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, which provides, and I quote, "At any time where any House of Assembly of a state is unable to perform its functions by reason of the situation in the state, the National Assembly may make such laws for the peace, order, and good government of the state with respect to the matters on which a House of Assembly may make laws as may appear to the National Assembly to the necessary or expedient until such time as the House of Assembly is able to resume its functions. And any such laws enacted by the National Assembly pursuant to this said section shall have effect as if they were laws enacted by the House of Assembly of the state, provided that nothing in this section shall be construed as conferring on the National Assembly a power to remove the governor or the deputy governor of the state. Let's talk about Zamfara State. In Zamfara State, the Speaker of the Zamfara State House of Assembly, Honorable Biliaminu Ismail, acting on the instruction of the state governor, His Excellency Dauda Lawal, suspended 10 out of 21 members of the assembly, consequently making it impossible for the House of Assembly to carry out its constitutional mandate.
The lawyers warned that if the situation is not addressed, it may lead to a state of emergency being declared in the two states. They expressed concern that the crisis could spread into National Assemblies, potentially threatening its stability. The coalition therefore requested the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, to urgently intervene and take over the functions of the Benue and Zamfara State Houses of Assembly to restore democratic rules and stability in the two states.
Invite the distinguished Senate President to note that it is in abnormality for a state governor to cross the separating lines enshrined in the doctrine of separation of powers to the extent that he now dictates the State House of Assembly. And that does not exist. The Zamfara State House of Assembly has thus been incapacitated in the performance of his duty, even if most of his members were not illegally suspended and the House devoid of the 2/3 majority quorum. Allowing this situation to continue will end in President Tinubu proclaiming state of emergency in both places and suspending the assemblies, by which time the National Assembly will no longer be able to take over the functions of this State House of Assemblies as constitutionally stipulated. By then, the National Assembly can only ratify the emergency rule as will have been proclaimed by Mr. President. Furthermore, it is a matter of time before the crisis that have incapacitated the Benue State House of Assembly and the Zamfara State House of Assembly are introduced to the Senate And indeed, the National Assembly, which will make negative history with the president again to show the leadership indeed at a trying time like this. Our sole prayer is that the Save Benue and Zamfara coalition consequently employs Your Excellency to urgently invoke Section 11, Sub 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, to take over the functions of the Benue State and Zamfara State Houses of Assembly to safeguard democracy in Nigeria.